ਰੈਜ਼ੀਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਸਕਾਟ ਮੋ ਅਤੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਜੌਨ ਹੌਰਗਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਪੱਛਮੀ ਨੇਤਾਵਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਲਾਨਾ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੱਤਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰਜ਼ ਨੇ ਸੂਬਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਘੀ ਸਿਹਤ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਫਰ ਭੁਗਤਾਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਵਾਧੇ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਾਲ ਦਾ ਨਵੀਨੀਕਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ। ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਮੋ ਮੈਨੀਟੋਬਾ, ਸਸਕੈਚੁਅਨ, ਐਲਬਰਟਾ, ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰਜ਼ ਦੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨਗੀ ਕਰਨਗੇ।
Today at the Western Premiers Conference in Regina, Saskatchewan, I have with me my colleague John Horgan, the Premier of British Columbia, also the Chair of our Council of Federation, who has done some tremendously valuable work over the course of what is nearing the last year on leading our Council of Federation, all 13 Premiers across the provinces and territories here in a discussion primarily focused on healthcare, but also focused on how we are collectively as Premiers leading our nation out of the global pandemic that we have all faced and worked together on over the course of the last couple of years. There's some significant challenges that we are addressing in each of our jurisdictions. One is in obviously healthcare, of which has been the topic of our discussion this morning, been the topic of our Council of Federation discussion largely over the course of the last year as well, not only in addressing the pressures that we have from the global pandemic, but also addressing some of the pressures that we collectively have across the nation that are impacting all Canadians in the way of surgical wait times that we have acquired over the course of this pandemic, in the way of our diagnostic wait times, in the way of providing physician, medical health professional, primary health care services to not just people in Saskatchewan or British Columbia, but collectively across the nation. This has culminated in our effort and our ask as a Council of Federation of the federal government to be a fair and a funding partner, a full funding partner in delivering provincially delivered healthcare services across the nation. And so that is part of our discussion today, as is some of the other challenges that we have as we find our way through the global pandemic, as we rebuild our economies, as we look towards the future in ensuring that our respective provinces and territories, as well collectively as our nation, is in the strongest position to really succeed as we look ahead and look beyond a COVID-19 pandemic. But I'll turn it over to my colleague, the Premier of British Columbia, the Chair of the Council of Federation.
In over 2 years as a result of the global pandemic, and to be in the birthplace of Medicare to talk about the future of public health care delivery in Canada is absolutely appropriate. And Scott rightly says, over the past year, we've been focused on ensuring that the Canada Health Transfer, which sounds like an administrative accounting procedure to many of you, but in reality, this is about how we deliver services at the provincial level to Canadians from coast to coast to coast. And so over the past year, Premier Mo, Premier Fury from Newfoundland and myself have been trying to do shuttle diplomacy with the federal government to get to a place where we can have a First Minister's meeting on the importance of delivering healthcare services to Canadians. This has been not just for the past year. I have been at the Council of the Federation for 5 years now, and just a few months ahead of Scott as the senior Premier in the country. And when I arrived at the table, the number one issue for premiers was healthcare and the delivery of services that are so critical to the people in our various jurisdictions.